Hey.
I'll load in as we're going on. Okay, let's start with the intros. What's good, YouTube? Lan the Ultimate Form here, back again once again. And today we're here for a special video. Today we are here with my guys, Dan the Ultimate Blade.
What's good, YouTube? Daniel the Ultimate Blade here, back again once again with a one shot.
And my guy Tommy.
What's up, guys? This is Tommy. A lifestyle, a journey, a story. Good to be back, and today, it's going to be fun. We get to talk about something that is very near and dear to our hearts, but might not go the way you think.
Yes, as they said, we are going to be talking about the beta and more widely, Marvel's Avengers, the video game. This game has been made by Crystal Dynamics in cooperation with Square Enix and was announced last year? E3? Yes? Or the year before? Year before. There you go, year before. And, yeah, we have a lot to talk about. They've released a beta for this game. This is the last week it's currently running, so if you haven't had a chance to touch it and have a look and have a feel about it, do so now. It's running till Sunday. This is the third and final week, so time is ticking. The game is coming out in the first or second week of September, so there isn't actually a long time to go till we get the full game. Cool. So one of the first things we want to discuss is what the story of this game is, and I'm gonna have my guy Tommy start us off.
Thanks for that, bro. Right, so let's get into the story of Avengers, the beta. So, from what we can assume, the storyline is still going to cross over into the main game. Obviously, a lot of story we don't know about for now, but the story so far, it starts with our usual team at a tech expo, Tony Stark being his usual smug self, and in the end, it gets invaded, and during that invasion, we get to fight as heroes so far. Those 5 heroes and his crew trying to steal what we soon learn is the Terrigen Mist. For those who don't know, the Terrigen Mist is to do with Marvel's Inhumans, which, from what we can tell, the Inhumans storyline, basically, it seems to be following the MU version of the Inhuman storyline. If you don't know about that storyline, it's in Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Marvel's Inhumans. If you'd like to get more of an understanding, go watch it, but I'll try to break it down as best I can, as quickly as possible. The Inhumans are a race of what are essentially superhumans that are living on the moon, and basically the Terrigen Crystal awakens dormant Inhuman genes in normal humans to then give them their abilities, which, going by DC standards, it'd be metahumans, but it's close enough for Marvel. And basically, during this storyline, the Terrigen bomb goes off, awakening dormant genes in nearly all of New York City, including another character that we get to play as, Miss Kamala Khan, aka, as we further progress through the storyline, we get to see that, basically, spoiler alert for anyone that hasn't played the beta yet, if you don't want spoilers, I'd stop listening now or skip ahead by about a minute. Here we go. Cat is killed during the explosion, or supposedly killed, and because of this, we get a very incredible style storyline of heroes are held accountable for Avengers breakup, which obviously we've seen in the MCU with the Sokovia, and basically with this we see that Bruce and Kamala are on a mission to try and gather the other heroes. I think that covers is the story for now?
Yes, a very, very well described set of events. My only additions to that is, I believe, in terms of comic books, we're talking about not just the MCU, but they're taking pages from the Inhumanity storyline, which is the first introduction of Kamala Khan, as well as, I just had it in my head, now it's gone. Ah, duty, it's gone. I wrote it. Did I not write it down? No, I didn't. Ah, dang it. Anyhow, we can move on then, seeing as I've forgotten. Oh god. Don't look at your phones, guys. Don't look at your phones. Don't.
Okay.
Don't. Cool.
Oh, it's something from Sanj.
Yeah.
You'll know what that
We know what that's gonna be. He's at work again. Anyhow, next up we talk about what kind of game this is meant to be. And for that, we're gonna have Dan throw his hat into the ring, while me and Dan take on this mission real quick. Dan's playing as the Hulk, where I is playing as Kamala Khan. Dan, what kind of game is this, Dan?
Well, we're not entirely sure what it's meant to be, are we? It's just like, it's kind of got that sort of like looter sort of element with those sort of basic RPG mechanics sort of thing. But we haven't quite seen enough to see exactly what it is. It feels very much like, what's the word for this? Child's first beat 'em up.
I agree with
That's
that.
kind of what it is.
I agreeing with you, but yeah, you're right. Because we were very hopeful for this. Very hopeful.
Now, I can't say I don't feel like this game is not progressive or really very much a step in a different kind of direction for video games, because it is. This game is doing loads of really strange stuff, and you're asking a lot, especially of hardware as well. Not to say the PS4 isn't anything lacking, but lots of the stuff they're trying to do are... Oh god. Don't kill me, no! There's a big tank down here, dude.
So wait, Hulk will smash.
Yeah, because I'm gonna need help. This game is very adventurous for what it's trying to build. It's a co-op, hero-based beat-em-up game with loot progression and other stuff thrown in there, if I'm totally honest. Ow. Didn't realize that was going to hurt so much. And I'm fearful they're trying to do too much.
It does feel like it's trying to do a lot of things and not really expanding on those mechanics and everything. In a way, it sort of reminds me of the original version of Destiny, which came out trying to do too much and didn't quite know what exactly it was until the sequel. You might see a similar loop coming here, where the first game is okay, but then they improve on it in the sequel, which with the company that's behind it might not actually get that chance.
Well done. That squad member has been neutralized.
Well, I need to get up higher because there's something shooting me with lasers. There you are.
You're pointing in the direction of Hulk will smash.
Don't worry, I got it. You stay down there.
Right.
So next,
what next?
Let's talk about how characters play. Because they've given us 6 characters in total, with the promise of characters being DLC. So, Tommy, if you don't mind leading us off with your 2 characters.
So, first character we're going to talk about, the character that basically when or one of the ones that opens the game, and that is the invincible Iron Man, or so you would hope. Oh my god, he plays so clunky. First of all, can we please talk about the fact that his aiming system is next to non-existent, and just trying to do anything with him is basically impossible.
Yeah, but I have to agree. It's just like...
You can't shoot anything because the targeting is basically, as I said, non-existent. And when you do manage to shoot, it's luck of the draw.
Yeah, it does feel like it's got like a bit of tracking on there as well, which is actually a bit of a shame, because I'd like to just, blast anything that I want to, instead of being restricted.
And I think what's really bugging me in that sense is, as you just said, with Iron Man, you should be able to shoot at will, not have the issue of, oh, I can't hit anything, oh, I can't do this, oh, I can't do that. This is meant to be an Avengers game. We're literally playing as what are known as Earth's mightiest heroes, but with Iron Man, it genuinely does not. They restrict the combat. When you are able to hit, literally and mashing for your life, because you've just got to be like, oh, am I gonna hit? Am I gonna hit? That's it. There's no rhyme, reason, skill, anything. Literally just click and hope. Big. I'm mixed on the flying mechanics. Fair enough, we didn't get very long to experience them, but am I object to them? No. I feel like, as I said, because we didn't get to traverse very much, we can't exactly say much to say, oh, well, I think this, I think that. I feel like I'd need to experience the person of... Do you guys remember that really, really bad Iron Man game on Xbox 360?
And PS3. Was it PS3?
I don't think I ever played it. Even though the flying sub reminded me of Superman 64 at one point.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Yeah.
It's a similar system to what they have in Anthem.
I was expecting rings to appear at one point. It's just like,
in all honesty, it's the flying from the Iron Man movie game, which, if you watch the reviews of that game or watch any gameplay, the flying is the worst reviewed part about it.
Yes, it is. It is terrible. I remember that game. I played the second one too, and exactly the same.
Yeah.
Actually, I think I remember this game now, actually. I think I did play it.
Yeah, so for me, saying how bad the flight is, don't get me wrong, do I feel like there's potential? Yes, I do. But do I feel like... I hate saying these words, but I know we're going to get it. Do I think we're going to get at least 3 to 4 patches very quickly? Yes, I do.
Well, they've already given us 4 patches for the 4 or 5 patches for the beta, so...
Yeah,
where are we meant to go down?
And even then, the game's still broken, because I think an enemy is clipped through the floor, and now we can't get it.
Oh my god, he's all the way down there.
Yeah. Oh my god. It's glitched through the floor. That just summarises it, like all of our fears for this game.
Oh my gosh. I'm gonna reload the checkpoint.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if we've got that many moments where, you're gonna need patches to do this, to do that, I'm worried for the actual game, and I really don't want to be worried.
As I said, this game is rather ambitious in terms of size and scope. For the beta alone, they gave us 20 plus missions. So I have to give them some degree of credit for that, and how much effort they actually have put in for this beta.
will give them their due. The ambition behind this beta is incredible, but there's some major tweaks that need to be made before people are gonna start ranting and raving.
Yes, I agree with that.
Sticking with the Iron Man thing, I think if you're used to very tactical, non-hand-to-hand combat, you're relying on non-targeting weapons. So if you're more of a shooter-style game player, this is the game for you. Iron Man will be your main character, but if the time and you like proper hand-to-hand combat, avoid that character like the plague. That's the main thing I have to say about Iron Man. I can't complain though. His acting is pretty good in this game.
I quite like Iron Man because he's a more technical character to play as. He obviously focused on his arsenal, so you can switch his arsenal. You've got missiles, lasers, and his repulsors, so you can do lots of different things with him.
I'll admit, his charge attack is amazing. But in all honesty, I don't have much more to say. Just, I'm not saying that Iron Man is bad in any way, shape or form. It's just the fact, as I said, the word I used was clunky.
Indeed.
Well done.
Your next character?
So, for those who don't know, one of the characters that I was very excited to get to play as in this game was the Mighty One himself, the God of Thunder. And I'm happy to say I haven't played with Thor. Again, a projectile based hero, but also has very good hand-to-hand combat. You don't have the funky controls though. Unfortunately, I will say this, I feel like, I know it was sort of done on purpose, but I hate to say that his projectile is very unbalanced. The use of Mjolnir at the beginning,
Good job, Avengers.
you're going to spam it.
With this victory,
I don't like spamming things that you're going to do it, because throwing it, it's nearly a one-shot on most villains that you're going to face early game. So, if you're playing as Thor, I would recommend try to avoid using the hammer unless you absolutely have to. Like, use it for that tutorial bit where it tells you use your hammer, but then once you've done that, try and learn the controls for Thor as fast as possible so that you can see how unbalanced they made it compared to his projectile, because I don't like when characters have one element that are balanced and another that is not.
Okay, I get it, understand.
That being the case, do I think that Thor is going to be a very fun character to play through the rest of the game? Oh yes, I am going to have a lot of fun playing as Thor, but do I think that... I don't think he's going to get patched. I genuinely don't. They might nerf him, not patch, but nerf, yes.
Yeah, I think
But in all honesty, I think we can all agree Thor played really at the beginning of the game.
I think he was the best gameplay experience I actually have, but I can't help but feel as I was playing as Thor, it's just like rip off Kratos.
They took a lot. They must have taken inspiration from
like,
that.
Yeah, I feel like that was bound to happen with the success of the God of War games.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it just felt like I was playing God of War, to be honest, when I was actually playing, which isn't a bad thing. But it's quite obvious where they drew that inspiration from for the gameplay of that character.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I get it, because I was sort of waiting to hear the word boy at least once out of 4.
Yeah, same. Absolutely the same.
Cool. I guess we should move on. Thank you, Tommy. Dan, can you talk about
before we move on? Can I talk about one last thing when it comes to characters? Fair enough, it's one we haven't seen, but it's just one that I want to get to because it's going to be quick, since obviously we won't have anything to talk about. But for those who don't,
Spider-Man, aren't you?
yes, I am.
Yeah.
Could we hold that for later? Because that's part of the near the summary. I have thought about that one.
No
if you don't mind. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Dano, you talk about your 2 characters, please.
First of all, we'll start with the character I'm currently playing as. So, the Hulk. He controls very much how I felt he would control. It's just that it's very much focusing on those melee attacks. And actually, I think of all the characters apart from 4 that I'm actually able to play as properly, I think he's actually one of the best, because he just controls so well how you think Hulk would actually control. It sort of brings me back to those sort of what was their game, the Invincible Hulk? It was on the PlayStation 2. Can't remember what it was called.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
It sort of reminds me of that. And
No,
that's
I
not
completely
necessarily
agree.
a bad thing.
Oh
But at the same time, I also think it's a little bit too simple. It feels a bit too button mashy. Like, for instance, throughout the last mission, with all the stuff I was pulling off there, I was just button mashing. Because it didn't feel there was much depth to it at all, combo-wise.
Oh.
I don't know if you guys agree with your experiences of playing as the Hulk.
Yeah. If we're going to talk about Hulk though, Dan, can we talk about the one bad point of his gameplay?
He's not big enough.
The jumping.
Yeah,
Okay,
jumping.
not including his size. The jumping is really not calibrated well.
It feels very clunky.
Yeah. Like, is it just me, Dan, or did you find it that when you were on the bridge having to jump during that first mission, you were nearly falling at least once or twice because his jump was...
Easily. It was so clunky, and the way it stuck to things, it felt like it had no tracking to it. And in Revenge, it's just like, unlike on other games, I'm going to bring back the God of War comparison again. But I think the problem is that God of War does it so well. And
yeah,
it
because with
sticks to
God of War,
things.
yeah, he has something to stick with. Hulk doesn't, it's just hope you jump at the exact right point, if not you're falling.
Or in the right place, which isn't obviously marked. God of War, you knew where you were going. It was obvious where you was going. And if you made the mistake and fell, that was your own fault. In this, it feels like it's the game's fault for not showing me where I'm actually meant to jump at. Which annoys me. But hopefully it's something they can fix, even though I think it might be too late now. That the game's about to ship and everything. I feel we might actually be stuck with this jumping. Of not actually knowing what's interactable and what's not.
Yeah.
We'll need to take
I'm
control
feeling
of this
that's
system.
something that might not
Get me to the
actually be
location
able
on
to
your
fix
HUD.
without overhauling the entire game. And let's be honest, it's a video game company.
They're not going
doing
to
that.
overhaul everything. This.
It's not Anthem, is it? Dan, can you slow down, please? Just running straight into everything.
Yeah, but everything must die.
Remember, Hulk smash.
We're meant to be a team here, and this man is literally running into
There's a
everything.
chest with gear close by.
There is no
Get to that
I in
control
team, but There is
or there is no IE in Hulk.
Oh my gosh.
True.
Come over
but
here.
there is a smash.
Exactly. But has anyone got any other further thoughts on Big Green?
He ain't big enough. I think it was a missed opportunity to have some sort of ability where his size changes, allowing you to hit things better. They did it with Kamala Khan. Why wouldn't you do that with Hulk? I mean, the rage meter concept I like, but
I feel like it's easy mode.
It is really overpowered though, because that rage meter essentially replaces his HP, allowing his HP to regen over time. How did I miss that?
If we're looking at like classes and everything, which is what this game should have done, certain heroes should belong to like certain classes and everything. Hulk would have been the tank.
Yeah, he's about sponging. He's about sponging.
Being the tanky boy. And kinda is, but kinda isn't. It's just like it feels like
he does a lot of damage.
It's trying to do too much.
Well, this is why I like that so far. All three of the characters that we've described have all come under a certain category. You've had both Thor and Iron Man come under the projectile character. Hulk is the tank, and we'll be interested to hear what your other character you feel comes under, Dan.
So that would be the one, the only, and sometimes the best, Captain America. Huh? I think it's about Captain America.
Oh gosh, Tommy.
Closer to breach the system.
But from what the little bit that we got of him, it felt smooth. It felt like it worked really well. I think the most effort they put into it was actually Captain America.
I'm making his shield defy the laws of physics.
Yeah. But apart from
Which
that,
I'm very happy about.
But apart from that, we didn't really see much of what he could actually do and everything. Huh?
Cat's finisher.
Which is interesting. Yeah, Cat's finisher was quite cool with the shield and the ground and everything. Oh, so good.
And I'm sorry, the name of it was just amazing.
The Brooklyn Brawler.
I think it was Brooklyn Rampage?
Brooklyn Brawler.
That's it, Brooklyn Brawler.
But then that also brings me back to what class is he meant to be? What character?
He's your overly melee focused character. He has his shield, but that's not his focus. Oh god, Nolan North, shut up. I love you as an actor, but the lines that they gave you were trash. We'll talk about that later.
Okay, why is Iron Man in the Hulk Buster?
That's his special.
I didn't know he could do that.
That's his special.
Do that. Okay, that's quite cool. I'll give him that. That's quite cool. I didn't know he could do that. I haven't played with him much, so. But that's actually quite cool to see. But apart from that, we didn't really see much of what he was actually capable of. I'd like to see him on an open battlefield like this. See what he was actually properly capable of.
I could play him in the next fight. Because the next one I want to do has outdoor area. Ow, 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 ow.
But it felt like that. We didn't see a lot, but I guess that's something they're saving for the main game because it's Captain America.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a plot reason for him not to be here.
Yeah, which makes sense.
Oh, Tommy, you forgot to mention one particular thing with your story review.
What did I miss?
We're fighting MODOK as the main villain of this game.
Oh, yes we are! So, MODOK in this is a character we've not really seen in any of the Marvel games, really. I think we've seen him sort of as a very quick pass-by villain. But this is the first time we get to see MODOK as the main villain.
Okay, there's a marker down there, and I want to know how to get to it.
Yeah, there's chest here.
Expect resistance. They won't want us getting inside.
I feel there might be a switch somewhere.
Yes.
Can I hit it?
More than likely.
So, Dan, do we have anything else to say about America's Arse?
It was good.
It was good.
Apart from that,
Better
meh.
hurry. We need to get to the
I've seen
control point.
better combat and everything. I just feel we should have got more time with him as a character and everything. It was very much a pass-the-line moment. Same with 4 really as well. In that regard, we didn't get enough time with those characters. I feel if they were trying to impress people with the game, maybe those two should have been a bit more of the forefront.
Yeah, and then we get to experience the others as we go on.
Yeah.
There are circular switches around here, Dan. I've located 2, and there should be 2 more.
Okay. I think
Um,
I hit one with it. I think I hit one with a rock. Why am I Kulu?
some things never change.
waiting for
Okay.
that.
Yeah, it was bound to happen. So I guess I should talk about my 2 characters. So first of all, we will talk about Black Widow rather than the one I'm playing as. Black Widow, as most people know, she is a notable Avenger who's been pretty much in most of the promotional stuff for the game, but she's also tends to premiere a lot in the animated series and now in the comics, and she has now a movie, so people have really gravitated towards her. She is the assassin class, or like your rogue-like class. She's able to maneuver very quickly and get around obstacles and sometimes enemies without too much of a problem. That benefits her because most of her skills are about evasion, handling taking out solo enemies, but handling crowds. One of her heroics allows her to. There's one more down. One of her heroics allows her to turn the entire team invisible, allowing her and your team to kind of maneuver around your enemies without taking damage.
No, have you got the one that's up there where I've just
Yeah,
thrown a rock?
I have. Yeah, I did, but I can't find the last one.
Alright.
It's got to be here somewhere. She's pretty good. I quite like her because her special literally makes her kind of OP. Because she's very quick and very nimble. She has a way of closing the distance and the gap with enemies, which is, in my opinion, one of the issues I have with this game. The lock-on system is good, but not that good. Other than that, it might be back out there, Dan, if you want to go take a lap round. You have a look-see. Because we've got 3 of them, so we kind of know where they are. She has dual pistols, which allow her to have different types of ammunition, similar to how Iron Man has his different types of ammunition himself. Other than that, I think she's pretty nifty. One of the biggest issues that she had with when the game was first shown off is that her face was horrendous, and they fixed it, and I'm happy.
But her face.
Her face was, yeah, everything was horrendous, but she's our intel, and she's ex-Shield, so like we pretty much know her in and out, and her gameplay, like most people don't seem to like it, but I quite like it. And then we get to the coup de grace, with the mention of the Inhuman storyline. You can't have Inhumans now without Kamala Khan. Kamala Khan is showed up, what,
I worked it out.
2011, 2012. Was introduced as part of the Inhumanity storyline, where a big Terrigen bomb went off because Black Bolt decided to scream, and resulted in pretty much the entirety of New York being covered by Terrigen mist, and did you just come from being covered in Terrigen mist, creating new Inhumans. Kamala Khan was one of them. She's a superhero. She's a half Indian teenage girl, and she's a fan of superheroes as a whole. So she has a.
Oh, it's Nightcrawler.
I guess so. Didn't get his name. But she is a fan of Miss Captain Marvel, and then when she became a superhero herself, she took on the moniker Miss Marvel, which was one of Captain Marvel Danvers' previous monikers. And there was a whole story arc where she was trying to impress her and take over the role, and she got it eventually. She's a polymorph, which means that she can change the shape and size of her body, which is super cool if you ask me, because who doesn't want to be able to change and shapeshift parts of their bodies? So if you've been watching the gameplay in the background, she can jump really far, she can make her arms bigger, her legs bigger, her entire body bigger. You can do lots of things. Her favorite, one of her heroic is called Embiggen, which is like her word that she uses to trigger her powers. So she's really nifty, really cute, and she's become a fan favorite in the last few years since her publication. And when I mean like she's a fan favorite, she's like Miles Morales fan favorite. Like people legitimately love her. So much so that when Marvel started doing their Marvel superhero girls thing, DC did a similar thing with their comic book line. She's basically the face of it. Oh, nice thunderclap, bro.
So basically like how Harley Quinn is to DC at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That makes sense. But what I played with her, it was actually quite a bit of fun.
Woo!
Just
She got me.
I feel she was another character that was actually put the most design time into.
Because she's the face of the story. That's why. Skadoosh!
It's interesting. I like how it worked.
I'm a fan of her as a character in general because she speaks to what Marvel was trying to do, having more ethnic minorities in publication. Yeah. And she goes a long way to handle what Marvel can do when it comes to expressing ethnic minorities in comic books, and loads of people seem to gravitate towards her, so that's also a good thing. So yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of talking about the characters and how they play.
I think this might be a good opportunity for me to talk about the missed opportunity, the whole Inhuman storyline a little bit.
Yes, by all means.
Especially because it relates to character-wise and everything as well. So when I first played the game and everything, I got past the first Avengers bit and everything, and obviously the mist has gone round and everything, and everyone's sort of like buggered, sort of thing, with like all these people manifesting powers and everything. I really thought we were going to get a create your own character system, choose your power, choose your sort of class and everything, and that didn't happen. And I feel that is an incredibly missed opportunity.
Stay near the point, Dan.
I need more time. Keep the area free of hostile.
I'll just tank everything, it's fine.
In all honesty, Dan, I couldn't agree more. Now, don't get me wrong, have me and Lan both agreed that we think we will still get a create your own character system with the main game? Yes.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, but for now, yeah, do I feel like it was missing from the beta as something you could then transfer over to the main game? Oh, hell yeah.
See, the thing is, other games in a similar vein has done that right before and everything, so I'm going to bring up the Destiny comparison again. Because I feel it's quite relevant for what this game might actually be trying to do. Everything. But Destiny could do that fine in their beta and everything, so I think that might not be in the game at all. Because I think if it was there, then they would want to showcase it.
Yeah, I can get that.
Come on, Iron Man, do something useful.
Like that's the point of a beta, is to showcase that sort of stuff. Yeah, if they didn't showcase, then I think that's quite foolish.
This flying bugger shooting me. Cool, next on the docket, before I get slammed into the floor. What is good about the game?
Secret weapon.
So Tommy, as usual, you'll start us off.
What is good about the game? Okay, so I can't complain about the story.
I thought you were about to say nothing.
No, I can't complain about the story. Don't get me wrong, am I annoyed where they chucked us in the story? Yes. But do I feel like the story is bad? No. I personally like the Inhuman storyline, but I feel like if we're going down an Inhuman storyline, shouldn't we have experienced things like Black Bolt, Medusa?
I agree with you on that one.
For me, I personally have liked to have seen that.
I love how you just slaps the button. Come on, Hulk. Slap the button, why don't you?
That's funny. Anyway, carry on. Sorry.
Yeah, no, don't be silly. Do I feel like the gameplay is very well done? Yeah, but at the same time, as me and Dan have used this word multiple times,
If you can gain
it's
control of the
clunky.
network temporarily, I can infiltrate their security system.
And a game like this in 2020, we should not be having clung for
Head for the
our
terminal so I
superhero
can get you inside the lab.
character.
I'd even go as far as to say, Tommy, that games in the PS2 era, so like for instance your Spider-Man and that Incredible Hulk game, did it better.
Oh god, I need...
Not being clunky.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Thanks, Dan.
Because, I'm sorry, but I will still back to the Sam Raimi Spider-Man games, and the controls are less clunky there.
And that was an old game.
Though, in all honesty, that game aged very well for the fact of the web swinging mechanics for that game were used in Spider-Man 2018.
Oh no!
Network is equipped with a multi-point authentication system.
You just saw Dan floating in midair.
Multiple terminals. The more the better.
I'm not surprised.
But the controls were less clunky. Yes, but overall, I really enjoyed
AIM will attempt to initiate a shutdown protocol if they gain access to the terminal.
missions after the beginning. If I'm being honest, I very much had it that me and Sanchez agreed. We tried to play through everything that you could, and we were both here on.
Less than
I
impressive.
couldn't keep playing because it just really was not what I signed on for. And again, I regret to say that because Lan knows this is one of the games that I've been looking forward to since its announcement. So, for me, for now, the beta, let's say if I were to give it a rating, I'd be putting it around the 5, maybe 6 mark out of 10.
That's generous.
Yeah, that's generous. I'd say closer to the 5 marker.
Okay. Oh no, this is getting grim. You get off that point right now. Dano, you... Yeah.
Have you got any water launching?
I'd say that I would personally like to see just a couple more characters. I wouldn't ask for anyone major, but just a couple that made the roster feel a bit more... not complete, but...
A bit more well-rounded.
Like yeah, like an actual beta.
that sort of brings us to later when we talk about the structure of the beta, which I have a lot of opinions on how it could have been
Next
done.
destination on your HUD.
And that's something we'll go into later.
Cool. Dan, some thoughts on what's been bad about the experience so far?
Well, I was gonna do good quickly.
Oh yeah, do good, do good.
I thought we were all doing good first. Then
Oh, sorry, my bad. I'm tired.
Yeah, that's fine. But as a lot of people that watch my channel, and a lot of people that have watched one-shots of Lan in the past, I'm very much the devil's advocate when it comes to these sorts of things. So my list of what's good is incredibly short. Yes, it's a semi-functional game. It's a little bit of fun. I like the design of the characters and everything. I think what they've done with the graphical engine is actually quite nice. And everything. Enjoying how characters look and everything. But apart from that, that's about it. Would I buy the game myself? Probably not. Not in the current state that's in. Not from what I've seen. I'm not impressed. But that will bring me to negative later and everything. But I've enjoyed the experience and everything. I'm just glad I didn't pay for it, to be honest. I'll be honest, I'm glad I didn't pay for it.
Yeah.
In all honesty, I've got a feeling Dan will agree with me, and I know Lan will. Am I gonna buy the game? Yes, I am. Am I gonna buy it straight away at full price? No.
I'll be waiting for it to be in the bargain bin. Oh, wait for it to be the price that Anthem is at the moment.
Yeah, I will pay, I'd say up to £25. But anything more than that, I'm not cashing out. Sorry, Marvel, but you've already had enough of my money. You're not getting full price from me for something like this, because this is a game we've been waiting for since the Avengers first assembled on screen in 2012.
You heard it here first, man. Roll credits.
Let's just say, I think a game that did the whole Avengers experience better was actually Marvel Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
It did it better.
Cool. I guess it's my time to talk about what's good. Graphically, this game is actually rather impressive. The textures are really nice. They've done a lot in terms of making it look pretty. Unfortunately, pretty only goes so far when you've seen the same thing 6 or 7 times. The game is rather droll and reuses a lot of assets. For instance, where me and Dan are now, we've seen the same assets twice now, just in different ways, exterior and interior. In terms of other things it does rather well, in my opinion, are well, I mentioned the environments, but the way that they've constructed the environments makes sense and does it well. The loot progression system, though I think it needs a bit of work, is comparable, but like after you've upgraded your character, what else is there to do apart from grind from loot? And I don't think this game needs a loot progression system, in fairness. It does have ways that you can build your character, but at the same time, is that what the game really needs? That's my question.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
I've got my whole boards, because those that watch my channel know I play a lot of looters and everything. I've got like a whole rant about how the loot system works in this game, but I will save that for later.
There is a dude who is now glitched into the ceiling. Come down here.
Good thing to capture on camera.
I got him down. Woo! What kind of attack was that? Other than that, and they got a very good cast for this game. I'm not gonna lie, the cast is actually rather impressive. I mentioned before, Nolan North, he's the voice of our Tony Stark, our Iron Man. And as I mentioned before, I don't think they gave him really good voice lines in general, so that's one thing, a point of contention. But my list is really small in terms of what they've done good. Characters feel distinctive, your build options are there, like those kind of things are good, but the bits that make the game fun, like it's loot chase, it's what's the word, the player loop, the gameplay loop, it feels disjointed. One of the concerns I've seen a lot from other people and from forums and stuff is how do you develop a story when you have a mission-based game? And the answer is it's difficult, but it can be done. You just have to be very careful how you do it. Do all of your missions contribute to the overarching story that you're trying to tell? It's not like Destiny where each big update is kind of like a chunk of story, and they're probably going to try and do the same thing with this game, but they've outlined the premise that this game is mission based, but not all the missions contribute to your overarching story, because missions are separated into your story based missions, which you can do, your Warzone missions, which don't necessarily contribute to your story but your progression, and then you've got other bits and bobs like the harm room that doesn't contribute necessarily to anything. So I'm hard pressed to sit and think that this game will tell a compelling story with what they currently have. Don't get me wrong, the story is a novel idea. Reintroducing the Inhumans to the gaming population when you've previously kind of failed with the TV watching audience is a good play. Introducing a less than known supervillain in MODOK and AIM, who last time I checked their main on-screen presence was felt in the Iron Man Armored Adventures cartoon from what, 2014?
Yeah,
2014, 2015?
Oh, what was the other Marvel card? The Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yes, he showed up in there too, but there's a lot of characters in Marvel's library that they could have picked, and they picked them, and the combinations of stories that they pulled together kind of fit and work, and I enjoy that. Having MODOK as an Inhuman to begin with is a really smart idea, because you give now a new origin to a character that hasn't had a retelling of his origin in several decades, to my knowledge at least. I'm a bit rusty when it comes to villains like him. The other side of that is you have so many influences in terms of, you have the MCU for influence, you have 60 years of comic books and designs and ways of building the actual character to make them unique. Obviously, as creatives, me and Tommy, we know that nothing is original, but everything's just a mix mash of different things. So, for instance, I like how they portray Kamala Khan, because she's kind of honest to her first appearance. She's kind of shy, but she's also got that thing where she's a nerd and she likes superheroes and she fangirls a lot, and she's like, oh, this is Jarvis, this is Iron Man, this is Black Widow. It's like, that's cool, but at the same time, you have to pull your pants up and be a hero. So that's the other part of it. Seeing reusing assets. This hallway is used way too often. I'm getting
I've seen this so many times.
Content fatigue already. But yeah, I like the stuff that they've mixed together, and that rolls over to the cosmetics, which we'll talk about later. But other than that, there isn't much else like stunningly impressive that I found with this game in terms of the actual game. But what they're working with, the concept they're working with, yeah, that's more my speed, but the execution is something different.
So, point of contention. Why in good God did Dang Luthen go into boy?
I didn't hear anything you said, Tommy, sorry.
Yeah, I didn't hear any of that either.
Can you hear me now?
That's better.
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah. Right, point of contention, why was Lu-Ferrigno not brought back to voice the Hulk?
You're asking the wrong people the wrong questions, Tommy, as usual.
Yeah, because
We don't know. We're not on the game.
probably
No,
money.
Probably.
I'm just saying, and that should have been the casting, because when Lou Ferrigno got to do some of the voicing
Bypassing their
for
security will take some time.
the Incredible Hulk,
Keep the area clear
and
stay in range of the control point.
when he got to, I think he did a little bit of voiceover in the MCU Avengers film. Don't quote me on that one, but Lou Ferrigno, no, he's the Hulk that
We
I
all
think the
need what we
majority
don't
of us grew
deserve.
up with.
We all need what don't
Yeah.
deserve. Why are there lasers everywhere? Take out the lasers, man.
I'm on it.
You can do it better than I can.
Yeah,
So let's.
so back to what you were saying.
Yeah, in terms of like the concepts they're playing with and the way that they've melded things together with Marvel's long, lovely, illustrious history, I like it. I like what they're doing, but at the same time, execution can be the one thing that will piss fans off, because execution is where it counts. Oh, Nolan North, please stop.
I must say, I've just switched on to Iron Man and everything, just to sort of give it another go and everything while I was on here, just to showcase it all a little bit better and everything. And why does the Hulkbuster control better than actual Iron Man? It feels better than actually using Iron Man.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, I was having more fun in the Hulkbuster suit than I am in the normal Iron Man one.
Oh, this is gonna get touchy. Get a
I
high
think
five.
that might be because you're more of a fan of brawlers, Dan.
Possibly, it just felt a bit smoother. Like, it felt like the aiming was a bit smoother as well, and it's just that's how it worked. It just felt better, and when a character's super performs better than the whole character,
in general, you have
you
some
know
questions
you've
to
got a
ask.
problem.
Hang in there.
Also, I just had my first issue with the game. I'm in one of the missions and the game has crashed.
Oh dear.
I would say I'm shocked, but
I'm not shocked. I'm really
Oof.
not. It's
I deserve that.
one of the missions in the main city, and I was mid-jump with Kamala, and all of a sudden the game.
Oh, we're
just
getting
froze.
bullied. We're getting bullied. Ow, ow,
yeah,
ow.
absolutely bullied, yeah. But I think that's a good time to bring us on, with that happening, to bring us on to the negative.
Oh.
And I must request, can I go first with the negative? Because mine's quite a big
Go
list.
for it. Go for it.
It's just like, and I'd rather get that out of the way sooner rather than later. Right? So if people are bored, probably skip about 20 minutes ahead.
It's not gonna take that long. I'm
I
down.
don't think it's going to take that long. I am a coming.
No, I'm up.
Okay, no, fair enough. Okay. What's bad about the game? There is a lot bad about this game. There is a lot. Just of where to start. As a person that's played a lot of looters and everything, this is what this game is trying to be. It's trying to be a looter, hero, beat 'em up kind of thing. Huh? Like, I feel no reason to chase any of this loot. This loot is shit. It's absolute horseshit. It's
I feel like they've tried.
None of it means anything.
All of
It's-
it is
feel like they
is
tried-
statistical. It doesn't change how you play the character.
The Resistance now has access to the
Yeah,
research
it
pods in
feels
this
like they've tried
laboratory.
too hard to lean into games like all the Spider-Man games, like you said, Dan, Avengers, not Avengers, Marvel's Ultimate Alliance, stuff like that.
But it's just like, none of this loot means anything to me. It's just I don't feel any reason to chase any of this stuff. I don't feel it makes me any powerfuler. I don't feel it changes the game at all. When other games, I think even Anthem does it better.
Yeah, because Anthem is an ability-based shooter, but at the same time it does lots of things differently.
Yeah, I just feel it does it better, because it's just like, if you're going to have loot, it has to mean something.
Yeah.
You might as well take the loot out and just have it be level progression. And that's what ups your strength and everything.
Agreed.
But that is what you might as well have instead, because it means nothing.
I heard cat.
Absolutely means nothing. I don't give a crap about any of it. It's just like, and if someone that's played a lot of looters, I kind of feel myself as the expert of looters in the group, because I've played a lot of them. Feel free to veto me.
No, not at all. I agree with you.
No vetoing from us.
It's just like, it just means nothing. It doesn't even look good. Like, I don't even feel it changes you cosmetically at all, not that I've noticed. I don't know if any of you guys have noticed if it changes it cosmetically or anything.
No, it doesn't.
It's just, that's what loot was meant to do. Like, without that, your loot means nothing. Might as well not be there. It's boring. It's just like, I'm assuming the point of this game is to repeat missions and everything, and get better loot and get more powerful and everything. If I'm not enjoying the outcome, I'm not going to grind for your loot.
In all honesty, I'm right there with you.
I'll complete the story and then bugger off and sell it.
Yeah.
Absolutely pointless in my opinion.
Okay.
Anything from you two on that little point before I move on to my next point?
No, I totally agree with you. The loot system, as much as it changes your character statistically, there's no cosmetic changes to your loot gives you, because that's all to be sold separately or obtained separately as cosmetics. The statistical changes are minute, unless it's end game loot from what I've seen. Like, really, like, big. Like, some of the perks are really good at end game loot, but they haven't talked a lot about how the loot works. They haven't talked a lot about how rarity works, the number of perks you get, how high your perks can be. They haven't mentioned any of that stuff.
Yep, agreed. Totally agree.
Oh, I messed up.
Yeah.
Going on to my next
It was
point.
going so well for you.
Is it just me, or is this game just boring?
There's a lot of empty space.
I'm playing it right now, and I'm bored.
Patience, goons, you're next.
Like, I'm absolutely bored.
Right,
Everything
I'm going to say
looks the
this.
same.
Do I think that the game looks bad? No, I don't think the characters look bad. But do I agree with you? I feel like I'm seeing the same thing over and over, and it's very much making it... I'm very much struggling to sit here and play this game.
Yeah, I'm absolutely the same. I'm just tempted to turn the game off and play Monster Hunter instead currently.
Oh, but at this rate we probably will.
Yeah,
because,
in all honesty, I want to play the game, I do. But like you said, Dan, if we're not invested, why play?
Yeah, exactly. It's just like, I would go as far as saying that Anthem is more entertaining.
Right, this is how much
comparisons here.
This is how much I'm getting. Yeah, this is how much I'm getting upset playing this Lego Avengers game right now.
To be fair, it probably does a better job of it.
You're not even wrong. It does do a better job, because I say it as if I'm insulting the Lego games, but a lot of people are like, oh, the Lego games are for kids. Right now, you'd probably have more fun playing the Lego game than this version.
Yep. Totally agree with you. Alright, but that brings me on to another point in everything, is the gameplay loop. With a looter game and everything, the gameplay loop is everything. Just if your gameplay loop is bad, then you failed in everything. And I just feel the gameplay loop is already boring. Go into a mission, smash some stuff up, secure an area, smash some more stuff up. It just feels like there's no depth to what you're actually doing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's like, is there any importance to this storyline? Is there any importance to what I'm doing, or am I just doing it for the fact of
game?
Because the game has told you to.
Yeah. I feel like all I'm doing is Hulk smash, Hulk smash, Hulk smash. I'm not really getting anywhere in the story. Now, fair enough, this might just be, oh, we want you to experience game the six main characters, but as you said, it early had more gameplay with Thor and
Yeah, totally agree with you.
Yeah.
But
also, did anyone else feel like Taskmaster was very much a throwaway villain in the beginning of the game?
I feel like he's part of a larger plot, but he's a bit player. Because AIM is the true villains of this story, but you have to have other villains who appear who are bit players.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I know, but I had a harder time on expert difficulty taking down Taskmaster in the Spider-Man game than I did in this version. Fair enough, it's the beginning of the game, but he's not a villain to bloody well mess around with.
But stay in range of the control point.
Yeah, agreed. That brings me on to another point as well. So, this will be my second to last point, so I promise you guys it will be over soon.
Look for a chest with
That's
gear
fine.
nearby.
Just hold on for a little bit longer,
Shield
you
allies
patient
nearby
viewers.
could use some help.
And everything, past and present. Is it just me, or is this too bloody easy as well?
To some degree,
I
yes.
find this so
Like-
easy.
Like me and you said, Dan, the only reason it feels difficult isn't because the game is difficult, but instead because the controls are fucking, yeah.
All over the place.
I don't want to be playing a game where I basically can't play the game.
Yeah. Totally agree. But that will bring me
Oh, I
on
found
to
it.
my final point and everything. It's just like, I'm really worried about this game. Like, because I feel like that a lot of fanboys will sort of buy in because it's the Avengers, not knowing what they're actually getting into. Huh?
Yeah, no,
Because
I
it feels
completely
like-
agree.
This feels like a cash grab.
I
It
don't.
feels like a cash grab to me.
I think what's really upsetting is a lot of teasers of this. In connection to the MCU. I feel like a lot of people are going to come into this game expecting the we're all used to from the MCU, when in actuality we're not going to get anything close to that.
Yeah, because it's not meant to be that. But that's what people.
But that's why I'm. Yeah, the amount of people that will come into this thinking, oh, I'm gonna know exactly what I'm doing because I've seen it in the and just follow the plot line. When in actuality, you can't.
Yep, totally agree. But when it comes to it and everything, my final point about the game is I think this would have done better, and I think it would have been a better game if it was more like, instead of being like this looter shooter sort of thing, just let it be an RPG. That's exactly like what's it called again? I've mentioned it for like the whole fucking time. Huh?
Ultimate Alliance.
Ultimate Alliance. Ultimate Alliance. I feel it should have been an Ultimate Alliance game.
Yeah, no, I
'Cause
completely
that's what
agree.
it feels like. But that's my final point on the negative, and I will move on to someone else. There's a lot more I could mention.
rest my case.
There's a lot more I could add, but I won't.
Oh, Charlie, you've been summoned. Cool, so while Dan is gone, I will talk about things that have irked... Oh wait, Tommy, you should go first actually. Woo!
You want me to go before you?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yay! I have done that combo in a while.
I feel like the issue, in my opinion, is the fact of... First of all, I've used this word many times, so get used to it. The game is clunky as hell. The game is clunky as all hell and has a lot of improvement to go. Now, do I think that this is a bad game? No. But is this what I signed up for? No.
Need more time. Keep the area free of hostile.
Because if I wanted to play a clunky game, and please don't take this the wrong way, I'd play right at the beginning of Monster Hunter where you know nothing and then still get more enjoyment.
More than likely. You should play Monster Hunter. You should play Monster Hunter 3 back in the day. I need help over here. I'm good, but I'm not that good.
Where are you?
By Hulk. You can press up on the D-pad to see where your allies are.
Okay, I see.
Working as quickly as possible.
I'm here.
Thank you. So yeah, what else comes to mind, Tommy? Oh, AJ started.
Clearer story. I want a clearer story.
Well, they haven't said much about the story, which is not uncommon, but they seem to be holding that very close to the vest.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. The fact that even for a beta, when you think about all these other games that get really amazing betas, we at least get a bit more of the story. Also, why Hulkbuster bigger than Hulk?
I told you
They
Hulk's
should be
more.
roughly the same size.
Probably because it looks cooler.
Yeah.
Just so you know, I don't lose.
That's probably why. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah.
Hulk is low on health.
It's alright. He's only the CPU. That's fine. Who cares about the CPU? CPUs don't have feelings, it's fine.
Anything else, Tommy?
Nothing that Dan has covered, if I'm being honest.
Okay, so... Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, what else is there to say? We've said all the positives, but I hate to admit it, but the cons outweigh the pros with this beta. The cons majorly outweigh the pros.
The game very much concerns me right now.
Let's just say, with my cons, I didn't scratch the surface of what I wanted to say.
This man is literally like, we've beaten him and he's just standing here. Okay.
But then we'll talk about the structure of the beta a little bit more down the road, because I have a few comments about that as well.
So, some of the things that I think are really bad, and boy are they really bad, mission types and mission varieties. We did kind of mention them earlier. There isn't much variety in terms of what you have to do. From what I can tell, you have the harm rooms, like waves of enemies, but that's challenges. You have what we are doing now, which is securing points, basically capture the flag, There's seek and destroy. There are just like those kind of common multiplayer kind of things that you still have to do in the main game. And I think the main story missions should be a bit more far-reaching than the multiplayer content. And I think that's one of the big issues that I'm seeing here. There's been lots of issues with frame rate. I don't think I have to go and talk too tough about frame rate because you guys would have seen it by now. Some enemies are, well, there's not much enemy variety either, and most of them are just bullet sponges at the end of the day. They artificially create difficulty through giving the enemies certain buffs, and then at higher difficulties they debuff your character. So it's not really difficult because there's a unique gimmick to defeating a certain enemy. Like enemies with shields, you have to use your stored heavy attack rather than there's like a general all-purpose way that you kind of tie in with your combinations. You guys would have heard
attack, which the control for the leap attack is not good at all. It doesn't. Yeah.
Totally agree.
And as clearly as it should.
One of the other things I'm finding issues with is certain bits of dubbing. Like there's one in the first mission you do in the beta, and like Badder is talking, but his mouth is not moving.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the one you're on about.
Some of the voice lines seem disconnected. As in, like, stuff is going on, but like the characters don't sound as though they are currently in the middle of a fight or doing the thing that the character is supposed to be doing. It's too cheesy. It's too quippy, too cheesy. Especially Tony Stark. And don't get me wrong, as I said, I love Nolan North. I love his voice, but like he doesn't sound like a Tony Stark who's gone through his life and has come out the other end of it, and
yeah,
I think that's
in all honesty,
really sad.
What help when it comes to Nolan North is, and I think again we can all say this, you think Nolan North, you think superhero games, you think Deadpool.
He was a good Deadpool. I quite liked his performance in that game.
No, that's what I mean. He was a great Deadpool. But think about Deadpool to Tony Stark.
Very far leap, isn't it?
Don't blink.
Yeah. So I think a lot of people were assuming, he's going to be a really good Iron Man just because he was a really good Deadpool, and it's like, not necessarily.
Oh, you picked the wrong ship.
Oh God, Jesus. Like when he shoots his unibeam, he's like, oh, it comes from the heart! You hear that about 5 times and it gets really boring.
Yeah.
Another point of contention are some of the animations look really flimsy. Obviously, with Kamala Khan, her animations are meant to be flimsy because she's literally changing the shape of her body. Ow.
Which is fair, because it's meant to work like that.
But there are some animations on some of the other characters that don't look like they're working very well. There's texture issues in some places, like the texture pop-in, like general like teething problems. There's glitching in geometry, which happens with Hulk. Seems to happen with Hulk a lot. The lock-on, the lock-on feature doesn't. It works in general senses, but when you've got certain large mobs of enemies. Generally the smaller synthoids, there is nothing you can do. The lock-on system does not work. They've done some other, there are other things that I do find rather problematic, like the matchmaking system. The first day, like the beta was open for the general public, I literally couldn't matchmake with anyone because it just didn't work. We seem to be getting better luck today. I guess they've patched it and fixed it, but that is very concerning for a game that you've made to be multiplayer. If your matchmaking doesn't work.
You gotta be kidding me.
I'm sure that's stuff they could fix. I know making a game like this during times like these is not particularly helpful, like having voice actors, voice lines and stuff, but they have to do better than this. The way that the characters have been written isn't good, and it doesn't really display their personality in a way that is fitting for the legacy of the character.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
Lots of the technical issues do remind me of Anthem when the beta for that came out and when the game actually came out, and Fallout 76 comes to mind as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And I've had many conversations with Dan about that game. That game is a horrendous mess. So before we talk about monetization and things of that nature, are there any other things that people want to talk about?
I'll just sort of close this whole sort of chapter with one comment. This game needs another year in the oven.
Another year?
Yeah. With the state that I think this game is in,
Yeah.
with systems, it needs another year.
The fact that I can't 1-2 punch with Kamala using her range attack pisses me off.
Personally, I think this game needs a total redesign.
It could be like Anthem 2.0, yeah?
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And that
In
was...
this day and age,
I think
gamers' trust has been broken a lot.
Yes.
Thing is, can we talk about the fact though that it's sort of quite shameful? I think shameful of the PS4's life cycle, as we've already got announcement for the PS5.
The reactor is powered by 4 energy junctions. Destroying them should destroy the reactor.
Oh, Chris is asking in the chat if we're going to be getting the game. I want to tell him no. He said it's live. I'm like, okay, Chris, you do that, bro.
Absolutely not.
Not in its current state.
My money off. Money on.
Like more
It'd be a
Destiny.
big no.
Like more Destiny. Yeah, effectively.
So the last thing we have to talk about is how players are rewarded, and how the monetization is put into that. But before discussing that, I do want to highlight the fact that they have said, Crystal Dynamics have said that they don't plan on making additional content in terms of story and such. You have to pay for it. They want to make it free. And they've already announced that we're getting Hawkeye as a DLC character, and for those who have it on PS4, we're getting Spider-Man, which is...
Yeah.
Tommy's excited, but there's a lot more that goes into what this means. Because
So,
for
for those who don't know, one, I have a very huge love of Spider-Man. I cosplay him. But also, when it comes to Spider-Man, I completed the PS4 game in a week, platinumed it, and I have predictions that there's going to be some sort of connection to the Avengers game in the sequel to the Spider-Man game, the Miles Morales game. I hope that I'm right. So far, I've been pretty on the nose. That sticks.
His predictions have been ridiculous lately, so it's just like...
Predictions have been beautiful, and I'm very quick. Oh, that being... Spider-Man is going to mean we might get an extra DLC that Xbox players won't get. Yes, they do. But at the same time, I think that Xbox players are going to get a DLC that...
See, I disagree. I don't think Xbox players will get anything. because it's been done in the past with this sort of stuff. Like, so I wouldn't be surprised if they gave Xbox players nothing, personally.
Which is fair enough.
Given that mission 1, I was bored there.
It was the same as the previous mission that we'd done.
Yeah. Totally bored.
In all honesty, I'm bored of playing this now. I genuinely am.
We can wrap it up then, if that's okay. We can just talk about the monetization and stuff real quick and move on from there. But first, I want to show off some of the menus. Before we close out, you get missions, assignments, and then you have your challenges. Challenges reward you with currency, which you can see in the top right corner of my screen. They're tied to the challenge card, which is, from what they've shown us, seems to be independent per character. So you would have to rank up each and get currency for each challenge card in order to rank them up. And the challenge card is basically a battle pass. And that, first of all, that rubs me the wrong way because it's not a unified challenge card for all the characters. So you have to go through and actually level up each character in order to be rewarded all the stuff in the challenge card.
Yeah.
Which, to be honest, is something they could try and rinse money out of us for. But
Yes.
I could see them sort of selling these challenge cards, access these challenge cards individually.
Which is another...
It would be like $5.99 a character. You've got like, how many characters have we got so far? 6, not including Spider-Man.
Yeah, so it would be
It's
8
like,
by
that's
time
a lot.
Spider-Man comes out.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
You get, for your social aspect, you get things like, where are they? Let's go to cosmetics. You get outfits, which are just cosmetic. They don't change how your character behaves or their stat wise, which is fine. It makes sense. You can wear some really iconic stuff that they've handcrafted, which is influenced by different things. Even like they've made their own stuff, like Kamala's got a Widow fan cosmetic, which has her symbol in a t-shirt and it's black. You get emotes as well.
My favourite one has to be Mr. Fix It is in the game.
Yes, that's also good, but you get emotes as well, which serve very little purpose in my opinion, because you're not going to be emoting during gameplay, so there's kind of no
emotes work in certain aspects of different games in the game.
Yeah.
Like, we'll bring up the Destiny comparison again. Emotes work in a kind of game like that, especially if you're waiting in a tower or something, or during a raid for someone to come back. Emote works.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to really fit in terms of this game, and I'm a bit disappointed by that fact, because some of these emotes are really nice. And the last one is nameplates. So I don't know many games that use nameplates. I think Destiny kind of has that kind of nameplate thing, like you can design, or you have set preset designs which highlight your name. So that would be a nameplate. There's loads of them here. Many of them are influenced by different comic book art and panels or covers, and you're rewarded with them as you go through the game. There are those are the numerous ways they could monetize this game, by selling you outfits, emotes, nameplates, and having currency in order to unlock your challenge cards. And that worries me a lot, because yeah, it's all well and good you have a loot chase, but there'll be a point where what happened with Fallout 76, where you say you're not going to have game altering microtransactions, and then they could just sneak them in slowly. Because even on the challenge card gives you materials that help you upgrade your equipment that you get from normal loot progression. So you see where I'm going with this? So does anyone have any...
I almost just choked on my food because I went to have a look at the buy now section. Yet I'm sorry, but Marvel's Avengers, if you buy it on its own, $59.99. That's already too much. Exclusive digital edition, $64.99. You're pushing your luck, Marvel. Deluxe edition, $74.99.
That is a lot of money. And this is a rather big game.
Sorry, but... Yeah, but nearly £100 for a digital deluxe edition. I'm sorry, if I'm going to buy a deluxe edition of this game that costs £75, which I wouldn't, but if I were to do it, I'd actually want physical things that I could have in real life.
Agreed.
I agree with that too.
Going back to the battle pass system, what they've actually implemented here, and you know, I might as well rename this the one-shots with Destiny. Talking about, but it's just like with the whole battle pass system and everything, it's just like with the Destiny thing, it's just like Destiny bundled that with actual story content, and I don't think they're going to do that here.
Cool. I feel you guys. I really do. I really do. And I'm in a state where I want this game to do well, because when the game does well, they prompt companies to want to invest more in those IPs to make more games. The same thing that happened with EA. Is it EA and Star Wars? Because Jedi Fallen Order has done so well, now we're getting Starfighter Squadrons or whatever that game's called, and it prompts companies to say, hey, this type of game did well and the fans are clamoring for it. Now we know that what they want, now we can make it. It takes a long time, but the way I see it is, if this game actually does decently well and there's a fan base for it, it will prompt companies like Square Enix, Crystal Dynamics, Insomniac and other companies to say, let's put our best foot forward. This is the concept we have. We want Marvel and Disney to endorse this so we can make this game. It might not be another Marvel's Avengers game, it might be something different. You never know. They might get to a point where we have a game where it's like you have a Spider-Man game and it has like all the different Spider-Men in it, or you could be like I can't think of like the myriad of things we could have. We could have loads of things. We could have a good Incredible Hulk game. We could have a good solo Iron Man game. We could get a Punisher game. We could get a Venom game. We could get so many different things.
If we get a Venom game, I will lose my mind.
Tommy, there's not much to lose.
Hey!
It's not much to lose. You got a PS4 and you got Spider-Man and you lost your mind then. How much more do you have to lose?
I mean, you've got to admit though, the fact that I did that in a week.
Your hands and your controller must not like each other.
I forgot you were in my game.
Oh, my hands hated me, but anyway, carrying on. Do I want to dislike this game? No, I really want to be invested in this game. All three of us agreed from the beginning we were hopeful, but at the same time we went in with essentially kid gloves. We went in with, we need to realise that this could be a complete fail of a game, which it sucks to say that if the game is anything based off the beta, it is a bit of a fail.
I think the beta in itself is a complete fail.
Yeah.
Because of the way they've structured it and everything. Like, just to get to the multiplayer section, how long did it take for you guys to get to this point?
About half an hour.
You can actually play multiplayer with other people and everything, huh?
Couple of hours?
Yeah, easily. It's easily a couple hours of actual gameplay and everything. For a game that is multiplayer focused, for your beta, why would you start with that? Why? Why would you start with basically 2 hours worth of content when a beta is meant to test your game systems and the online functionality of your game? If you're starting out with 2 hours of single player, then you have failed your beta. Your beta is relatively pointless because I guarantee those that wanted to play the multiplayer wouldn't have got through that 2 hours. I barely got through those 2 hours.
Yeah, I barely did, and like I said, I platinumed Spider-Man in a week. The fact that I couldn't pay attention to an Avengers game for 2 hours really says something.
I think because now it's almost 10 o'clock, we should start trying to wrap this up. So closing words, people. And closing ratings too.
I'm sticking with a 5. I'm sticking with a 5, and my closing words will be, is it a game to invest in? Yes. Is it a game to invest in now? No. Wait until the price drops to around £25–30, which I'd say January 2021 for January sales you're probably looking at. And I'd say be careful of microtransactions. And if you're really going into this wanting to be a brawler or a projectile-based character, yeah, you're fine. But if not, have fun.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely. I guess that brings me to my sort of like closing rating.
Yeah,
And this is being generous. 2 out of 10.
wow.
I've never been so bored in my life. Like, I've played a lot of rubbish betas, a lot of broken games. Actually, I say, and this will be my closing remark, Sonic 06 is better.
Oh, I felt that in my soul.
Daniel, you're mean.
I'll move on to Lan.
You're mean. Okay, so mine might be a little bit long-winded. This game could be possibly the start of a new push to have superhero games part of the main fold. This game probably came about partly because of the success of the MCU and the success of Insomniac's Spider-Man. Is this the right direction to take a team-based game? Probably not. Do I like the ideas in the game? Yes. The concept of a hero-based game spans a long time. We have things like Apex Legends and Overwatch and games along those lines. And we have other ones like MOBAs which are also hero-based games. You play as a character that has a particular role. That's an idea that you can take moving forward. When it comes to crafting a story, this is probably not the best format for that to be done. But I'll wait till the full game comes out and then I'll see if someone has it and then I'll play it with them. Other than that, in terms of this beta build, as Dan said, they kind of failed with the point of what the beta was for. It was to test how the game runs in a live environment, testing their servers, testing gameplay, seeing players' reception, and if they don't take any of this on board, then they, like what happened with Anthem. But in all fairness to Anthem, and I'll say this, and this is on record again because I said it recently, they built that game in 18 months. They showed it at E3 2016, and the game hadn't actually been built by then. So between then and the release, they had 18 months. This, they've had considerably more time. They have the backing of Square Enix. If it was to do with technology, Crystal Dynamics does not have any hope in hell to try and pawn that off on something else. They have Square Enix's support and they have the blessing of both Marvel and Disney. If it was anything to do with funding or technology, they can't say a word. It just means that they need to come forward and actually produce the product that they're aiming to produce. So that's pretty much it. I'm gonna agree with Dan and say 2 out of 10, because the execution of the ideas is not quite there yet.
And my 2 out of 10 was generous.
Right. The reason I'm saying 5 out.
I was tempted to give it a 0 at one point.
Whoa. See,
But-
the reason I'm saying 5 out of 10 is the opening story. I was genuinely intrigued up until the Kamala and Bruce section. Then my interest went. If we're going for just that beginning section, do you guys give me the 5 out of 10? But
No.
then afterwards it...
No. That beginning part of the game is heavily scripted, and there is no way for you to fail that.
Agreed. There has to be room for error.
Oh no, I'm not on about the actual, you know, playing of the characters, because yes, it's heavily scripted, but I mean the storyline. Because
Yeah, in terms of story and scope, yes.
Yeah, that beginning bit, I will give a solid 5. But if we're talking about overall gameplay, literally everything in that beta, then yeah, I'm dropping my grade down to about a 3. But the reason I gave that solid 5 was I feel like the story of this game is going to be good. But do I feel like the game itself is going to be good? No.
Cool. We might as well close out now because it's now past 10 o'clock. So we'll go in reverse order. So that means Tommy closes out first.
Okay guys, so as I've said, my name is Tommy, a lifestyle, a journey, and I am so glad to be doing some of these one-shots with the guys. So Dan and Lan, first of all, thank you for having me.
No problem.
No problem. It's good to have
And
you.
thank you. And guys, we're not going to insult the Avengers game because obviously this is a beta. It could be that the game plays a lot better, but we're giving you our honest opinion for now. Wait and see what happens. Watch maybe a playthrough on YouTube before you pick the game up. I'm really glad to have been here. I'm glad we got to bring you this story, this overhaul of the Avengers beta, and hopefully when the three of us do get to pick up the game properly and it's not as stupidly expensive, we can bring you something a lot better.
Yes. Dan?
Agreed. Well, this has been Daniel the Ultimate Blade. Like, comment and subscribe for more, and I'll leave you with those opening thoughts, those closing thoughts. Sonic 06 did it better. Because it did. I got more enjoyment out of Sonic 06 no matter how much of a glitchy mess it was. I got more enjoyment out of Sonic 06 than I did this. But stay tuned, because hopefully we're going to have some more one-shots soon.
Fingers
I think
crossed.
there's lots of stuff we can go out and try and everything. And hopefully I'm going to mention one of those to Lan afterwards, because I have an idea. But until then, like, comment and subscribe for more.
And with that said, I've been your boy Lan, the Ultimate Form. As Dan said, please make sure you like, subscribe if you have not already. Ring the bell to get notified of more content coming your way. Share with your family and friends. Check out the description below for links to my boys here. And we will catch you cats later.